All right, we got a no heating call here in a house that's basically brand new, and lady's not happy about having trouble, and the builder says it's out of warranty after 1 year is what the builder told her. So anyway, we're going to see if we can get them some heat. And like I say, these houses are not even 2 years old. They wouldn't come up on the GPS. I had to use the phone to get here. So let's see if we can help them. All right, Lennox. Pretty nice access here. Attic door right in the garage. So she says that it just won't heat the house past 67, and it runs all the time. What in the world? Looks like they sealed up. The thermostat wire, I guess. They may. I'd say that date is correct. And the furnace is burning. I mean, it's hot as fire. So I don't know if it's shutting down or what it's doing. Maybe we better go in there and look at the control. I'm gonna look at a couple other things, see if there's any dampers in these lines. See what kind of airflow we got in the house. Just not seeing any problems. It should heat them right out of this house. Like 3.5 ton coil. There's a damper there. Should be wide open. Somebody left their knife. That one was slightly closed. I just don't see any reason why it ought to not be heating this house. Good Lord, look at that little bitty regulator. This regulator is not even big enough to feed the tankless water heater, because it's capable of 199,000 BTUs. And maybe that's why we're teed here. Maybe this goes to the tankless and it has a 3/4 regulator. Let's hope that's the case. And then this 1/2-inch regulator, which I think is only 200,000, runs the furnace and maybe a fireplace and something else. So it's not too bad, but it's been burning the whole time I've been up here. So I just don't know what's going on here. Let's go in the house. This right here is why people hate flex duct. Look at that. Now, if you're going to use it like that, no, it's not going to work. Look at that. And it's all no main trunk line, just flex to flex to flex to flex, Y's, T's, whatever, all over the house. All right, let's go inside. The air in all of those vents is just trickling, just barely, like anything at all coming out. And the furnace is just steady burning. Oh, Lord, that's loose as a goose. Tell you what, boy, these new construction crews that do these new houses, look at that. They are just a bunch of careless. Plenum too small right there. Let's see what speed the fan is on. The flame's been burning since I've been here. And it's not even warm, it's just barely lukewarm air just trickling out. I mean, I realize this is a crummy duct system, but it sure ought to be doing more than it is. I don't know if there's a inner jacket pulled apart inside of a joint somewhere or what. But I believe we're going to find something like that if we keep looking. $90,000 BTUs, 4-ton drive furnace. So this should not have a problem heating this house, and this burner has been on steady. I just can't believe the temperature rise is not through the roof because of no airflow. Let's get a probe. I mean, I want to start reading temperatures and everything, but just look at this garbage. All right. 14. Crimped up. Look at it over there. Wet. Comes around there. Going to 212s. I'm guessing those are returns. And there's the supply up there. 16. There's the supply up there. That's 16. Going to that so-called trunk line. What a bunch of garbage. Let's get over there. All right, and down here at the end, look at this bowl of spaghetti. So, a piece of pipe back there, piece of flex, a short piece of pipe here, piece of flex, and another piece of pipe down there. I actually think spaghetti and spider webs would flow better than this, and all these runs are going backwards. So what I mean by that, I'm sure a lot of you know. Oh my gosh. So the air is traveling this way and then has to cut back. You know, why in the world would they not just cut this out over here somewhere and make one long trunk line here? And this piece is crushed or egged up or something. I don't know. I mean, you can't expect no airflow out of this garbage. There's no dampers on these individual runs, but I'm just wondering where the air is going. It's got to be going somewhere. And it's just trickling out of the vents. Absolute trickling. The manufacturers get regulated all to pieces, but the builders and the codes and the standards are just on ductwork. There is nothing that they care about. Nothing that makes any sense whatsoever. I don't know why they want the manufacturer to reach a SEER level and then they don't care what you do with it. The machine has to be efficient, but the application can be an absolute joke. All of these run backwards too. I mean, I don't know that I've seen much worse. There's no way for me to get the camera back far enough and wide enough angle to show how utterly ridiculous this ductwork is. Let's see how much temperature rise we're getting. Not very much. Give it a minute. I'll tell you, the new construction industry is the most unskilled of the so-called skilled. Look at that. So this bottom one ought to be glued and the cap ought to be loose. I don't know what they did. But not here to look at that right now. $87 degrees is all we're getting out of this furnace that is 90,000 BTUs. So I don't know if they've got the gas pressure jacked way down or what's going on here. No airflow and no temperature. What a mess. Telling what this thing show if I hook my manometer up to it. Look out. Looks like they've got that thing run down there as far as it'll go. So I don't know, what kind of problem they're having here, but with as low as the airflow would have to be, man, that thing ought to be 110, 20, 30 degrees coming out of there. Who knows how hot it ought to be. It's taking in 70 and putting out 87. There is definitely something wrong here. Let's get our manometer. I think this valve is bad. Look how far, I don't know if the camera can see it, but the regulator for the pressure adjustment is run past the threads. Maybe that's a different set of threads for this. gas pressure. I'd say we're gonna have to have a gas valve before we even bother to check the pressures, because it won't turn up anymore. But what I am gonna do, just to make sure, is check this inlet pressure, because that may be the problem. And whoever's been out here jacking that up may not realize the problem's right here. So, let's see what we can find out. Pretty easy to tell what's going on, but the manometer doesn't lie. So I hooked it up, and on the manifold side, we just got no gas. See any point in trying to adjust it. Ain't gonna do nothing. All right. Let it fire back up. If it will fire back up. I'd say our gas pressure is pretty low. So just trying to figure what they did monkeying with the valve. I did back it back out. I don't know if the spring is gone out from under it or what, but it is definitely not behaving well. Let's see what happens when we try to run it back in. Cranked it down and just gave it a problem, because it's going up higher than it ever was. We are getting it up, and our inlet pressure is certainly suffering on account of it. Replace this valve and replace that regulator over there, but what it looks like is they cranked it down too far too fast. Did something to the spring inside it. See how far down I've got it in there now. See if that raises our output temperature any. That's more like it. So, in my opinion, this regulator is not big enough for these three appliances. I don't care what they are. I don't care if it's just a gas log and a stove, especially if it's a stove. 3 1/2-inch lines. I only know where this one's going. So, this is just not big enough So anyway, we have definitely gotten the temperature up just by getting the pressure up, but I can't really get it up any more than that. It'll crank all the way back down like it was. So I'm not going to push this deal any farther here. I am going to offer to do some updates to this gas or nothing. I think we need a 3/4 regulator to feed the 3 lines. I will go see what they are, but I'm sure one of them is fire logs. We're just not getting enough pressure, and I'm not going to start adjusting that regulator. I'm going to replace it. So let's go talk to the customer, and meantime I bet you we're getting a lot more temperature in the house than we were